Cyware, the leading provider of operational threat intelligence and collective defense solutions, has collaborated with Team Cymru to pre-configure Team Cymru's industry-leading threat feeds into Cyware's threat intelligence platform. This package solution delivers real-time visibility into botnets, malware, command and control infrastructure, and external malicious activity, empowering organizations to detect and respond faster to even the most sophisticated adversaries. In this video, we will take a look at how CTIX users can stay advised of timely alerts and contextual analysis to investigate adversarial behaviors and malware attributes used in attack campaigns utilizing CTIX with Team Cymru intelligence feeds. Let's begin. We will begin in the CTIX threat data module. From here, we can do a filtered search or CQL search. In this investigation, we're going to look for indicators with Team Cymru as our source. This gives you an example of how to easily search using our quick filters to find all indicators that are associated with Team Cymru, and of course, I could add other threat objects and entities to this use case. If you want, you can also do a CQL search. You could set up objects around the source being Team Cymru and values containing Cobalt Strike. In this particular search, we are providing results around Cobalt Strike infrastructure. We have the malware threat object and the offensive security tool for Cobalt Strike as another threat object. We can click on a number of these, but for this particular example, we'll focus on this Cobalt Strike beacon HTTP/2 infrastructure. As we go into our threat overviews, one of the things we want to do first is analyze this particular indicator. We're going to look at the key details. We want to know about the value, TLP levels, the type of threat object, which is infrastructure, and this shows when it was detected and sourced. We also have the ability to look at types, which in this case, it's command and control behaviors. Now we want to understand the relationships. The relationships are other indicators that are associated with this one infrastructure object as well as malware objects. There could be tasks which create assignments for other users in your organization. We can also look at the actions. You want to see what actions are manual or automated based on your analysis and looking at those action dates. There are also custom attributes which are a bit more raw, but you can hover over one of these for the extension to gather details like top-level property extensions. There's a lot to take a look at in the overview. We can also understand the source, which in this case, there's high confidence in this particular infrastructure by way of the research being done by the Team Cymru intelligence team. We also want to look at things that are associated by way of context and enrichment, which could be looking at tags which have Cobalt Strike beacon HTTP/2 backdoor technique, could be malware associations, which we know this is a malware family, the ports associated, and various other key elements that would provide in-depth descriptions and context around what's actually taking place with this indicator and why it matters. There are also quick actions, and I can do a number of things: add new relationships, add to the watch list. I can run rules directly from this indicator, so I can start the internal intelligence exchange and being able to create flows outside, but being able to automate some of the manual repeated steps that you would do looking for detections on any of the indicators that meet certain criteria. Another key area is really analyzing this threat data. What we find is very useful with Team Cymru is they provide real deep malware description details around this particular infrastructure, and knowing that it's command and control infrastructure, the types of controller protocols it uses HTTP, a number of control IPs associated, the family, the subname, which there's beacon techniques happening here, and then some other communication methods that are observed. All this again goes into how we analyze this particular indicator and really begin our investigative steps to determine relevance and, of course, risk scoring. The Relations tab, as we mentioned, anything related to this indicator could be other indicators like IP addresses, URLs, could be other strategic objects. You can search on these and visualize them in threat investigations. The investigations view gives you more link analysis towards what you might be interested in investigating and really being able to do additional discoveries during enrichment. Really being able to reanalyze various threat nodes so that you can better understand this indicator and why it's relevant to you. For example, going into this, you will see a number of nodes. These are all nodes that are related to or associated with the overall infrastructure. And as you can see, as a number of associated indicators such as IP addresses. You have malware families associated, you've got other IP addresses. Maybe I'll use this one here in a second to see if it's connected to the Netherlands geo-origins. I can double-click on this IP address, and it brings up another preliminary pop-up for the threat overview. Now I can look at the details in this IP address that I didn't really know about because my initial search was around the infrastructure of Cobalt Strike beacon. I'm seeing an IP address that we know is directly related and probably command and control infrastructure that is facilitating additional command and control protocols and behaviors and other potential attributes. Now we facilitated threats that are happening from this particular piece of infrastructure. I can see how it's scored and go through a basic detailed analysis. Look at other relationships so I can see it's related to other Cobalt Strike components. I can see locations it's actually related to malware, the observable, which could be an ASN or a complete zone where this network is facilitating or pushing out intelligence to and pushing out threats to. There also could be hashes and other indicator data that's observed. That's going to provide you a quick analysis of why this particular IP address could be something you want to investigate. I can right-click and do a number of things. I can add tags, I can actually add analyst scoring, I can mark indicators as allowed, I can add to watch list. I can deprecate, I can remove tags, I can enrich it directly here. And there's a number of enrichment tools I can create enrichment from, maybe bring in VirusTotal, Shodan, etc. I can select all of these and enrich this indicator, and it'll come back with up-to-date enrichment results. I can also go in and I can analyze relations, and if I've run some enrichments, I'll see some of the updated enrichments like AlienVault. They're saying it's not malicious, however, VirusTotal says that it is. I can go in and take a look at enrichments, and there's also going to be the payload enrichment details from VirusTotal or any of the others that'll show you what particular scanners analyzed this and saw activities that were malicious based on this indicator. I can go in and start annotating things by taking actions, or I could create tasks for others or notes. There are a lot of things you can do on top of the other actions that are associated, or as mentioned prior, I can come in here and look at this IP address, which you see that it's connected to Cobalt Strike beaconing C2. What we didn't see is the ASN itself and the hash, which we did look at as we dove into the threat details that we were able to pop up, but this information was not in the first investigation, so this could lead to a completely different investigation. Today we gave you a big picture of how Cyware with Cyware and Team Cymru, with their global C2 and bars intelligence, has been able to help us understand how we cover and maintain monitoring of certain behaviors of malware and adversary techniques. For more information, visit us at cyware.com and connect with one of our representatives.